the England World Cup winning cricketer who tried his hand at baseball. The Athletic has launched a cricket WhatsApp channel. Liam Plunkett is a World Cup winner and a veteran of over 120 appearances for England across formats. Now, at 41, he lives in the United States and, in June, became the first English cricketer in the modern era to play professional baseball. Advertisement on his debut for the Oakland Ballers of the Pioneer League, Plunkett threw 5 pitches.
Tired of spending forever chopping vegetables? This all-in-one prep tool dices and spiralizes ingredients directly into a handy container, helping make salads, sides, and meal prep faster and less messy. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/2 right now.
Facing one of the league's top hitters, Josh Duarte of the Yuba Sutter Freebirds, he missed the zone with the first, then found it for strike 1 with the second. From there, he began mixing in his cutter and struck Duarte out. Baseball pitchers throw with a bent arm, releasing near head level, while cricket rules require a straight arm at the point of release when bowling. Trained in the second, the 6FT3 in Plunkett was letting fly from high over his head at maximum extension. The result was an unusually steep release point that disrupted the hitter's visual tracking. It was funny because I threw the first innings and then I left to do broadcasting, Plunkett says. And then when I went back to the hotel that night, the opposition team was staying in my hotel, which I didn't know. I got into the elevator and they were all in there. And I'm like, I feel sorry for you guys, it's strange, you must feel a bit silly. They were like, not really, because you threw it straight. You just couldn't see it because of the height of where it comes from. Plunkett tells the story to The Athletic over a video call from a hotel lobby in Dallas, where he is working on Major League Cricket's MLC Texas leg. At MLC, he works as an ambassador and commentator, having played 3 seasons for the San Francisco Unicorns until 2025. English supporters remember him for his achievements from the summer of 2019, when he took 342 against New Zealand in the World Cup final at Lord's, as well as his 201 international wickets across tests, one-day internationals, and 2020 internationals. But he is forging a new career for himself these days. He grew up in the northeast of England and started his cricket at Durham's Academy as a batting all-rounder, nearly an all-rounder, as he puts it, but certainly one who has never been afraid to embrace change on and off the pitch. Advertisement after a long and much-admired career for England, which culminated in that thrilling 2019 success with Ian Morgan's team, he moved to the U.S. to be with his American wife, a Pennsylvania native, and to join the MLC project. He spent 2 seasons in its feeder league with the Philadelphians, then 3 with the San Francisco Unicorns. The baseball approach came through a text from William Fitzgerald, a marketing man who has worked with MLC. Plunkett lives in Pennsylvania, just outside Philadelphia, but MLC's season had brought him to the Bay Area, broadcasting the tournament's Oakland leg from the Coliseum. The proposal from the Ballers, who play a mile across town, was appealing. The Oakland Ballers play in the Pioneer League, once a rung on Major League Baseball's ladder, independent since 2021, and a league of prospects in which no player may have more than 3 years of professional service. Each club is permitted one exception, a marketing player, normally a recognizable ex-major leaguer good for an evening's ticket sales. Plunkett had thrown ceremonial first pitches before, for the Philadelphia Phillies and the Minnesota Twins, as part of cricket ambassador appearances, but they were merely photo opportunities. One pitch to a catcher before the game. Once he had agreed in principle to something more extensive, he met the Ballers' management and coaching staff to discuss what he was taking on and whether it was a good fit. The squad was away on a road trip, so he spent the afternoon with the staff instead hitting balls, taking catches, throwing pitches. To nobody's surprise, they quickly learned he could hit and that he could throw. "We do that a lot in cricket," he says. They asked him to come back the next day. He warmed up with the team and went into the bullpen alongside men throwing at 95 mph and 97 mph. But I was very consistent and I was throwing it over the top, he says. Advertisement in a sport obsessed with velocity, Plunkett was 15 mph slower than the pitchers around him, but what he offered instead was forged over 2 decades of fast bowling. Hitting the same spot pitch after pitch, and an extreme over-the-top release height well above the traditional arm slots hitters are trained to track. The coaches taught him the four-seam fastball, the standard grip for control. It was his own question that told them who they were dealing with. I bowled a lot of off-cutters, so my wrist is used to going that way. So, what's the best grip to do that? The Ballers filed a scouting report on him afterwards, see below. Club president Yeshaya Goldfarb, who spent 20 years with the San Francisco Giants, logged a fastball at 72-77 mph and a curveball at 62-65 mph, 2 pitches from one arm, 15 mph apart. Limited use of lower half with an upright finish, he wrote. What the report kept returning to was how unusual it all looked. Average carry with cutting action from high release, some depth and sweep with unique spin, non-traditional arm action. For a major league comparison, Goldfarb put down Josh Collmenter, an Arizona Diamondbacks right-hander who pitched 6 seasons in the majors with a fastball in the mid-80s and an extreme over-the-top delivery hitters struggled to time. This guy who used to play cricket, and he's now 41, what's he going to throw? He says. I'd be more nervous playing village cricket. Ask him where the 2 games meet and he goes straight to the obvious place. It's bat versus ball. What differs is what each sport punishes and rewards. In cricket, it usually costs nothing. In baseball, it costs a third of your turn. In cricket, you can swing away, he says. The difference is the balls are getting counted down. In baseball, it's more risk-based. Advertisement that reverses how a batter is taught to think. In T20 cricket, a ball you leave alone is one wasted, so you go after almost everything. In baseball, every swing you miss takes you closer to being out, so the discipline is to wait for one you like. It's a bit slow and it's moving around, so I'm just going to wait for one to sit there, is how Plunkett reconstructs the hitter's thinking. And there was never one there. He knew that trap. It was how he used to get out. As a lower order batter, you're expecting pace, and as soon as you mix it up, you're not ready for it, he says. Slow and wide, and I end up getting caught. The body divides the 2 sports just as sharply. The scouting report called it right limited use of lower half, and Plunkett agrees. I don't really use my legs. A fast bowler's power comes from a run-up and a braced front leg. A pitcher's comes from a short stride and an elbow that straightens violently at release, the exact movement cricket outlaws. I think I have the ability to get a bigger stride and maybe get up to 85 mph, says the ex-cricketer. Hitting was stranger still. A mix between golf, cricket, and baseball. I'm stuck in the middle. On July 12, he batted for the first time. He let the first pitch go by, wide of the zone. He swung at the next and clipped it out of play, then made contact with his third swing, a ground ball straight to a fielder, who threw him out at first base, a run-out of sorts. Cricketers have been turning up in American ballparks for a few years now. England white ball captain Harry Brook has a bat sponsorship from MLB. 12 days after Plunkett's strikeout, MLB named Suryakumar Yadav, India's T20 World Cup winning captain earlier this year, as its ambassador in India, flying him to All-Star Week in Philadelphia. Cricket is chasing America, baseball a global audience. Advertisement MLC, cricket's American Championship, was settled a few miles away, at the Oakland Coliseum, a baseball stadium converted for cricket after the Athletics left. A record MLC season closed with a thrilling final, won by the Los Angeles Knight Riders by 1 run. Beyond baseball, Plunkett's cricket work in North America continues, his time taken up with commentary, academies, and flights between the States and Canada. Each year it gets better, he adds. The standard rises, there's better people involved, which educates the younger players. Ask him who the world should be watching before the next World Cup and the 2028 Olympics, and he offers 3 American names. Seidaja Mukamala, the Texas Super Kings batter who shone at this year's T20 World Cup. Matthew Tromp, the Johannesburg raised. Texas-made 21-year-old, whose explosive batting and late-season form carried the LA Knight Riders into the playoffs, they went on to win. And Sanjay Krishnamurthy, his San Francisco Unicorns teammate, a left-arm spinning all-rounder who once hit 4 sixes off a Rachin Ravindra over. His baseball line may rest at 2 appearances, 1 strikeout, and a spotless 0, though he talks of getting some proper coaching, a longer stride, maybe touching higher speeds while pitching. Either way, the pitching was always in service of the bigger job, putting cricket in front of America before Los Angeles 2028.